Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sports Dynasty NFL. My name is Trevor, and this is Juan. Before we get started, we want to I'm going to say this.
We're not gonna talk about this long because what's coming.
We're not.
I got killed the fourth wall. This is actually Tuesday morning. We did a late recording because we wanted to cover the Bengals and Bills game because it's a huge game. But unfortunately, we have a major tragedy in our hands, and at this hour at 11 a.m., we still don't have word about Hamlin's health state. At this pace, he's still in critical condition. So I'm gonna get choked up if I keep talking. I'm that sensitive.
We our thoughts and prayers are to Damar Hamlin's family, the Buffalo Bills organization, and the Cincinnati Bengals as well, who also have to witness the tragedy on the field. And to America,
everybody's very classy, by the way.
Yes,
very happy to see how everybody did.
I think it was incredible to see the NFL world come together and unity. This is how I love the game, because no matter what fan base you are, you come together. How every fan base, even online on social media, came together to keep each other, hold each other up with this terrible tragedy.
It's kind of like a big prayer circle, nationwide prayer circle. And whether you believe in God or not, that's very irrelevant.
Yes,
yeah, it's prayer circle. everybody comes together, hold hands, and just hope. Everybody hopes, prays, and anxiously waits.
Yes. His charity is so last I checked this morning is over $3.5 million. Stay classy, America. That's beautiful. But let's talk about Week 17.
Yes.
Right now, on Sunday night.
Yeah, what we're going to try to do at this point in time is entertain like we always do.
Yes.
We may be a little choked up, but we're trying to give you something else to think about while we await the status. That's the goal of this episode. So yes, Week 17 Sunday.
Yes. Let's start with the New York Giants.
Something happy for New York Giants fans. Not for Colts fans. But Giants fans,
welcome to the dance, my friends.
Congratulations. So happy.
A 31-10 curb stomping.
38.
I'm sorry.
The backups decided to score themselves. They got in the party too.
I mean, yeah, I don't mind it at all. The 38-10 curb stomping of the Indianapolis Colts brings the Giants to their first playoff appearance since 2016.
Since the boat picture.
And I want to say kudos to Brian Daboll for getting
meant to reference the boat picture.
Yes, he did. He did.
Well, they don't look like there's no divas in this team, so they should be okay.
Brian Daboll, good job, Coach of the Year, yes. Daniel Jones, he's played very well.
He may have earned himself some money.
Yeah. It was the Giants have a decision to make, because if there's other teams that like in their division who might want to get a piece of Daniel Jones,
maybe.
Yes. So
maybe
good for them. It was great showing for them.
Doing what he did with the worst receiving core, probably by a mile.
Yes,
in the NFL,
one of the worst receiving cores in the league, and you got a playoff run, a playoff appearance. It's looking good for Giants Nation, for Giants fans. So good for y'all guys.
And if I'm not mistaken, as of right now, let me check. I believe they will be matched up with the Minnesota Vikings. Which I think the Giants want that.
Yes, that's what they want. That being said, let's move on to the next game.
Because they're locked at 6, right?
Yeah.
So they're probably going to sit all they started. So Philly's probably going to luckily hit the first seed next week.
Which honestly, to me, feels kind of dirty, in my opinion. If I'm Philly, I'm like, we didn't earn it because you didn't play well to begin with. But it's whatever. But
I won't go that far because they also did win like 13 games. So, so they kind of did earn it.
I get it.
You just kind of faltered at the end. You know what I mean?
But it would be really, really, really crazy if the Giants were like, you know what, we're going to beat Philly. And then we'll just end up giving the number one seed.
They might do that.
And then give the number one seed to Dallas, which they probably will.
That's what happened. Dallas taking, not San Fran?
It depends on everything has to go.
Okay.
If San Fran loses,
Okay.
then that would be number one because
Well, lucky them, they play
Yeah.
Arizona, so
yes,
it's kind of a long shot for them to lose the game. Crazier things happen, right? So,
yes,
Giants, oh my goodness, they ball. He's so easy to root for. It's crazy because I don't like the Giants, as you would know, because everyone knows why.
yes.
But that man is so easy to root for. Damn. All right. So there's a lot of games we're skipping because they mean nothing. But we may mention a little sprinkle of something. For example, this Browns game when Browns beat the ever-loving Christ and the playoff hopes off of the Washington Commanders. Because right now we are about to have our first of, I believe, 3 burials. Carson Wentz. It's over.
It's over. It's over. You have seen the last of Carson Wentz. Oh my God.
At the very least, you've seen the last of his starting
Yes. I'm about to say
career. At the
the
very
last of
least.
Carson Wentz has started in the NFL because it's over. My God, he was so hard. He was terrible.
And the Browns try to give this stuff away too for the majority of the game. Then they say, you know what, you want us to win? Fine, we'll win. And they in the full quarter they scored
Deshaun
twice.
Watson was terrible in the
As
first
usual.
half. Was terrible in the first half, but doesn't mean much when you have Carson Wentz throwing idiotic
3 of the dumbest picks that you'll ever see.
The first one was like, we're gonna deal with this game. Deal with this game. Yeah. And for the second time in a row, second year in a row, Carson Wentz cost a team a playoff berth or playoff chance.
Exactly 1 year was when they lost, I believe, to the Raiders, if I'm not mistaken. This is a year ago.
Yes.
If they lasted 1 week later, next week would have been the anniversary of the clown game.
Speaking of clowns.
Good segue, right?
Yes. Speaking of clowns, I understand that the Washington Commanders are going through a sort of a transition period. Because Dan Snyder more likely by the end of the league year will no longer be the owner of the Commanders.
And them losing helps that.
Yes.
Because if they won, they made the playoffs. I don't know, man. He may have had a case for something. But them losing out, hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Makes it easier.
So yeah. So he's probably be out of here. And so unfortunately, Ron Rivera probably won't get fired this year. Probably won't. He should. Absolutely should get fired because this is your fault. What in God's name were you thinking? When you bench Carson Wentz the first time this season for Tyler Heineke, and he plays against the 49ers, which he play okay, but you play against the 49ers, one of the best defenses in the league. You got Kurt Stomp. Okay.
Tell that to Stidham.
Okay. That doesn't help. But he's won you games. And you decided we're gonna go back Carson Wentz
to the guy who had you at like what 1-4, 1-5, something like that. They started off bad.
1-4, but Tyler came in that game that he got hurt in, and they won in that game. So technically, he counts. So he started the game. He qualifies for the win for 2-4. So
no, it doesn't.
In my eyes, he doesn't. But
no,
in NFL, he does.
No, it doesn't.
Anyway, but the point is,
he's 1-4.
He's cheap. That 1-5 he lost yesterday, so he's
1-5. Thank you.
1-5. So he's trash.
Yes, he's garbage. Duh. We knew that since last year.
So yeah,
at least
Ron Rivera. This is on you. If you had a competent owner, which you don't, a competent front office, which you don't. Wait, but he is the general manager technically.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, he's definitely.
At least has some power. Well, bye.
Well, then you're fired. Whoever the ownership is will be like, we don't want this bum here. Like, get out of here.
That's why I'm like he's gone. The minute the new owner comes in, they're cleaning house on the front office. Like they're all gone. They're gonna bring their own guys in and bring their own guys to get stuff in. Like it, we ain't gonna see a relevant Washington team for a while.
Which,
unless they get lucky and snap on a quarterback quick.
Let's be honest, but they haven't been relevant ever.
They haven't been like actually relevant since before I was born. I think in 1991. The last time they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're right. Because they've been trash ever since.
Yeah, they literally have been trash ever since.
And Tyler Heineke, the first chance you get out of Washington. Get out.
Yep, be a backup somewhere else. Carson Wentz. May you rest in peace.
Buried.
Let me not say it that way. Let me rephrase. Carson Wentz's career. May you rest in peace. There you go. Better. Now, Not much to talk about in the Saints game. Saints beat the Eagles because the Eagles dropped one. Saints, telling you, people won't believe when I said they are the roller coaster of the NFL. One day you get bad Saints, and then the next week you get them being the number 1 seed. Wow. Saints is eliminated. It make no damn difference. That's why we're not talking about it. Jaguars and Texans is similar thing. Except they Jaguars actually took care of business because they actually want to be over 500. So they win next week. They actually are not under 500. 9-8 with a division win. I think most of us will take that.
I don't Duval will.
Yeah, so we'll take that. We don't want no under 500 division winners up in this piece. We're praying that them and Tampa wins next week. Bears and Lions, same difference. They take care of business similar to Jacksonville to fight for their playoff lives next week. Unfortunately for them, so they want to drop a couple games that they shouldn't have. Carolina, they have to have some help next week with Seattle also losing next week.
Which is crazy because we'll get to that in a second. As far as the Packers, they're playing on Sunday Night Football. So
they are playing Sunday. So they're gonna know if they have a chance or not.
Yes, they're gonna know. Which to me, I think the NFL had a little bit of favoritism on Green Bay. But Green Bay,
in my opinion, I feel like they were kind of in a bind. Like, what were they supposed to put? Like, maybe they didn't want to put the Jacksonville game because they know how bad that game is going to be. So I guess they put it on Saturday instead. What were they really supposed? Like, if you look through the schedule, like, what were they supposed to put on the Sunday night game that's going to mean something?
Because the problem you have is if Seattle beats the Rams next week, right? Then the Lions are like, well, we have nothing to play for. So why am I playing my starters for? Or unless you're gonna spoil Green Bay.
That's what they're gonna do. That's probably what they're anticipating. They're just gonna be like, that's my rival, let's spoil them and everything. That's probably what they thought. They're like, out of all the games we got, even if the Lions wind up getting eliminated through Seattle, I think that is the team that's gonna still play hard no matter what. I'm guessing that's their mentality for putting that there. That's my guess. Which makes sense. So I guess that's why they put it. So I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it too. It's just that
I think they were in a bind. Like, what were we supposed to put? Like, all these scenarios we can't fix it like we usually do to make sure nobody knows nothing this year. I feel like they were put in that position. So yeah, because what they're gonna do, they have to hope that now that what's happened has happened in a Monday night, they definitely is like, okay, like they could have put the Bengals and Ravens game, but they're kind of in the playoffs no matter what. So like this, our team loses, they're still gonna play next week. So that kind of why they didn't want to put that Sunday night either. You know what I mean? Because it's the stakes aren't high. They're both gonna play next week. So what the hell? There's one host a game and one doesn't.
And if you think about the AFC playoff picture for the Jaguars, I can see why they didn't do it. But even if the Jaguars lose the game,
they still have a shot.
They still have a chance to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
To make the last wild card.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very slim, but there's still a chance.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's what was going on with them. So Detroit needs some help. That's why I don't drop games. Very simple. Cardinals, Falcons, next. Broncos and Chiefs, next. The Chiefs still look underwhelming, but I still don't think that means much, but we'll find out. Rams and Chargers, next. The Chargers are locked in the playoffs already. They have a 5th seed because of that gigantic ass whooping they gave the Rams and the Ravens losing on Sunday Night Football, which we'll talk in a little while. But I don't think they have it yet locked. I think they need the Ravens to lose again for them to get locked in the 5th seed. And they will be visiting whoever wins the AFC South. All right, Dolphins and Patriots before we go on to more important games. So this Dolphins collapse is kind of astronomical. Like, it's very comparable to the Dallas collapse in 2008 in December when they were like 10 and whatever or 9 and whatever their record was, and they lost every game in December and missed the playoffs.
They were 8-4. 8-4, yes.
And they just lost out basically and missed the playoffs. This is very similar. They've actually lost more games than that Dallas team did. But this is very similar to that. It's insane. This damn Patriots team won't die, huh? The league won't let it.
They won't let it die. They won't. They're saying this may actually happen.
This league won't let the Patriots are in full control. Well, kinda. because of what happened yesterday. They're not, but if they're in a vacuum, they are in full control of their destiny in making the playoffs. All they have to do is win whenever they play their Week 18 game, and they get it.
So,
Wow. This silence, there's a reason why we're silent. It's
because
because we can't believe it.
because it defies logic. It defies logic to me. What is the point? What is the point? You do know making the playoffs is actually going to hurt the team. It's the lesser of two evils. That's the worst of two evils, in my opinion. Because
They're gonna be like the 15th, 16th pick now, instead of like the 10th, because you want to make the playoff. Now you want to. The league wants you to make the playoff, rather.
and then you'd be like, well, I know the offense was terrible. I know that Matt Patricia was a train wreck, but this train wreck got to the station though. Yeah, so I mean, no, I'm sorry, that's idiotic. This is actually really bad. And it's like, to me, we're not falling for it either. We know what's going to happen. They're just prolonging the inevitable. But unfortunately, with the events that happened yesterday, that may not even matter because it may possibly they'll end up getting it anyway. Because it sucks. It just sucks. Patriots didn't play well in this game either. They didn't play well. They almost lost this game. They almost lost
To a third quarterback.
to Skylar Thompson.
To a third string quarterback.
And I want to ask the question: Kendrick Bourne has been the highlight last season, right? He barely get any PT whatsoever. I don't know why, but when he's out there, he does well.
He killed last week against Cincy.
So where was he at again?
We have a mental patient as an offensive coordinator. That's why. Because Kendrick Bourne is the best receiver in the team. That's not a debate.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. At least Thornton has some nice catches in this game.
I like him. I like him a lot too. I like the upside he has.
Bright side to the offense.
But this is pathetic. The play calling was abysmal as usual. As usual.
And Mac Jones was absolutely disgraceful too.
Mm-hmm. He was terrible.
He's like he forgot mechanics. He throws off his back foot a lot. Anytime there is 1% pressure, he throws away like a pansy girl. Like he doesn't. He's like right now he looks broken. This dude is garbage. I'm sorry.
Again, going for then it's 4th and 1. You're trying to be correct. Why? You're 7-18, right?
Mm-hmm.
4th and 1. Go for it. Go for that motherfucker. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? It just plays stupidity. But then, you know what? The Patriots win the game. They win the game anyway. But
thank you, Duggar.
Yes, Kyle Duggar, who's again can score on defense. The defense can score. It's great.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 games he scored a pick six. And McCourty like dropping picks.
That was brutal. I was brutal.
The dude dropped a fair catch pick.
Like, come on, that was too easy. I could have caught that.
Well, he is retiring, so good.
Yes.
We love you, but good. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. At the 49ers game, that was an unexpected barn burner.
Interesting.
The 49ers win. Nick Bosa forced that last interception by literally throwing a man into Jarrett Stidham's arm. He will be the defensive player of the year. I think that's solidified now.
Yes.
The Raiders have an interesting conundrum. We're pretty sure that Derek Carr is going to not be in this uniform next year.
Oh, absolutely.
98% sure of that. It's interesting that Stidham played as well as he did against the best defense in the NFL. I don't think that'll last.
No.
But I think that does earn them a fair competitive shot for the quarterback job next year, because this is a system that he is familiar with. Remember, he was in New England for his whole career until here with the same coordinator the entire time, who is his head coach now. So now I think about that, it kind of makes sense that you played okay in the system, just not like Tom Brady would in the system. It's very, very interesting. We'll see what this team goes. But they're obviously done, played for basically no reason, because They weren't going to do anything anyway. So we'll see what this team does. They get a couple pieces. They may be as good as what they were quote unquote supposed to be this year, which I don't understand how people thought they're gonna be this good. But yeah, not much to talk about in this game. What else? We got 3 more, I think. No, 4 more. Let's get rid of the Vikings game because there's not much to talk about here. Green Bay beat the ever-loving Christ out of this Vikings team.
And
it was very bad.
I love every minute of it.
Once Minnesota lost, I believe, 2 linemen early, their center got out quick. It was just death. But the omen started before the injuries, though. Allowed a kick return early. I'm like, oh, that's bad omen. And then once you see Jair busy doing the gritty right in front of Justin Jefferson after he basically threw him on the floor, that Jair beat the hell out of Jefferson, literally. Like there was a play where he was at the line of scrimmage, ready to press. He basically punched him in the face. Like I'm barely exaggerating. I'm just like, oh, they letting him do that. Oh. And that dude got bullied like if it was the damn schoolyard. It was bad the way he got bullied. Hey, bro, they let him play some 1970s ball. That was some Oakland Raiders play back in the 70s. You saw from Jair Alexander in that game. They let him literally mug him.
I like Jair Alexander. It's very
funny.
He's hilarious.
Funny.
Very charismatic. And his play speaks for itself. I like him a lot.
It was overly physical. They probably should have been more flags in that way, but whatever. It is what it is.
But it showed you that again. The Packers they remind me of that wounded animal that's gonna try to do what they can to get there. And the Minnesota Vikings, frauds.
It's kind of hard.
Frauds.
Or dare I say impossible to take them seriously.
I don't take them seriously.
That's why the only big win they got was because a quarterback fumbled his own snap in his own end zone. Like that's the only big win they kind of had all season. It's kind of hard to take the team seriously, and they prove yet again, mind you, this team that they played against, I believe, was 7-8 coming into this game. They got absolutely roundhoused.
And what's more funny? Now, the team. Now that you lost, your team got went down in the seedings.
Yeah, the 3rd seed now.
There is a specific team that you played the week before who would love to get their hands.
We mentioned about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, like the Giants.
Right now, you're messing with the Giants, who probably should have beat you the last time.
And I'm not gonna lie to you.
60-yard field goal.
We watched giant playoff games and how they had these magical runs happen. And we've seen this happen. It's smelling like they're about to be out of the. I said the lose the divisional round. Picking the Giants, I don't know. They may send you home a lot early.
I think the Giants might be losing in the divisional round.
Yes.
Not the wild card.
Not the wild
That's
card.
what it's smelling. We'll see if it lines up that way. If it lines up that way, I will be putting my money towards the Giants. And then, I have a feeling, though, if they do match up, I don't think the lines will be going very close into Minnesota's favor. I'm very sure Minnesota will be favored at home by less than 3. I almost guarantee that. Almost. The Vegas is smart. They know what they're doing. I will bet they will be favored by 2 or less against the Giants if they match up. I bet. In them lines. I'm very sure.
And when that happens and they lose,
I'm still gonna bet it.
No, when it happens and they lose, the funeral for the Minnesota Vikings will be great.
Yeah. For you, I don't care, but it sounds like you want it.
I want this.
Yeah.
Minnesota ain't shit. And mind you, I predicted in the offseason that they'll be at 13 wins. And
you did, and you were actually correct. You hit it basically on the money because they're more than likely going to beat Chicago next week. I think they have 12 wins right now.
Yes.
Yeah. So you hit it. That was very impressive. Hit it right in the money. But we'll see. All right, let's go through that Pittsburgh game real quick, and then we'll talk about the 2 bigger ones. All right. So it's looking like that Kenny Pickett might actually have a little bit of dog in him, as Mike Tomlin eloquently said on the field. Kenny effing Pickett. He ain't all that for now, but he may have the intangibles that a lot of great quarterbacks had over the years. He comes through when it's needed. 2 weeks in a row.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It just shows you how great of an organization Pittsburgh is.
Yeah, they're a masterclass, no question.
A class of their own as far as developing their players and maximizing the potential of their players.
Mind you, this team got holes, by the way,
Yes,
and they're still performing what they're supposed to do. They get this guy an offensive line. Najee Harris is a top 3 back. Automatically, they get an offensive line.
You managed to get
right.
Coach Tomlin back to 500.
One more.
And I'm not gonna lie to you. I hope they get it. I hope they do.
They are gonna get it. They're gonna beat Cleveland. I think they're beating Cleveland. That's what they play next week.
Yes, man.
I think they play Cleveland. They're gonna be 9-8, and we called it for like a month and a half ago. Go back on Raleigh Tower. Supposed to be like, I told you what I said. They gave up the one game. I forget, was it? No, it wasn't Carolina. It was one before that. I forgot who they gave. Baltimore the first time. They gave that one up, and then they went on a run. Told you, Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin is just goated. It's just that simple. Mm-hmm. But seriously, for Baltimore's case, it's kind of crazy to me how they clinched the playoff spot already because their offense is, gosh darn it, disgustingly bad. Like, Tyler Huntley is not anywhere near as close as good as he was the year before. He was okay last year. And this dude can't hit no throws at all. That last drive was so bad. He was disgusting. Do that right. I believe it's to Minka Fitzpatrick. I believe it's who he threw it to for the game-losing interception. Yeah, this team is good, man. They can run the football as they're supposed to, so it don't matter who the quarterback is at this point because J.K. Cobbin is okay. The 2% sample size that we have from him, he looks all right. And it was funny was that it started off with Hundley and Mark Andrews actually getting a little bit of a synergy, and then it just stopped. Nothing happened. Yeah, I don't understand why this Raven team is won as many games as they have. I don't like it, and I wish I wouldn't have to see them in Wild Card Weekend. I'm going to assume that Lamar Jackson will be coming back in Wild Card Weekend. I'm going to guess. Otherwise, they should skip the game. Because who are they? They're 6 seed right now, right? That means at this rate, we're going to get a rematch, I believe, part 3 against Cincinnati, which I don't want to see. I don't want to see this game again. 2 weeks in a row. Come on. If this game restarts, I'm kind of hoping that Cincinnati wins just so we can get something different. Mind you, Buffalo's already played. Baltimore. They're going to beat the shit out of them. This Baltimore team sucks. Jesus Christ, I don't want to see them at all. Maybe an underwhelming AFC side of the wild card, outside of the Chargers. All right. 2 more. All right, let's go with the Jets one first because this will also be pretty quickly. So the Jets came to Seattle, and that's the first time I saw the 12th man in a real long time. The 12th man had an entirely huge effect on Mike White, and I believe our tombstone has now been carved to its perfection. And it's time for us to put the dirt. Good call.
Thank you. Everything I said was going to happen did happen. I said Mike White was going to have his worst game in Seattle, and he did. He was awful. The 12th man who had bad losses in the last couple of weeks, this will be the game where they have to win. And they came and they showed out. Through. That Jet defense, as stout they were all year, they laid the biggest egg.
Last 2 weeks.
They laid the biggest egg, especially in this game. They were horrible. But then at the same time, it's like, listen, it happens. You can only do but so much but carry an offense for so long.
Yeah.
But before you
because Seattle only put up 23 points. It's not like they put up 40. Like,
against one of the worst defenses in the league, and you only come out 6 points. This just shows that especially what Juan's been saying, Mike White is not the answer for the Jets. No. They have a lot of questions on their hand, and I'm not gonna lie to you, the Jets losing out and missing the playoffs has we have issues on the offensive line. Yes, a lot of problems on the offensive line with injuries. They got to figure out what they'll do with Mekhi Becton is going to be able to play because he hasn't played almost 2 years. No. So I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do with that. You got to fix the offensive line.
He wasn't even good when he was playing. Yeah. I don't even know.
Secondly speaking, you have like I said, the running game is good. I think that them getting James Harrison, the backup Breece Hall after getting hurt right there. When Breece Hall comes back, the running game will be great. Quarterback, Joe Douglas. This is probably the one thing in your tenure you got wrong, and you have to eat this because Zach Wilson he's probably going to cut him after this year anyway. You have to bring in a veteran quarterback.
Yeah, the pressure's on you now, and you have to hope the veteran you bring in makes the difference.
Yes,
you have a lot of options.
Yes, you may have Daniel Jones, you may have Derek Carr, Taylor Heineke maybe if he lets to go. Garoppolo,
or Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II, which will piss me the fuck fuck off, by the way. But that this has nothing to do with discussion. But he's technically available too. So there's a lot. I mean, he got choked at the minute I said his name. The image is disgusting, isn't it? That green, 12 green. But he can't have 12, right? No, Namath is numbers required, right?
The name is
If
12.
he can't have 12. All right, so
12.
he can't have 12.
So he's definitely not going there.
So they need the quarterback position bad. It's real bad. And we gotta give a little bit of questions on Salah too. Like, I never understand for the life of me why Joe Flacco's never played the last few games. It confused me. Those losses cost you the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
At least against the Detroit, why didn't Joe Flacco play? I think he would have won that game.
Yes.
He could have won the game against Jacksonville.
Yeah, I agree.
Where was Joe Flacco? Why was he not playing?
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that too. Yeah, Robert Sal, you got to answer that too. It's probably your fault. But it's why Joe Flacco's on the team. Why is he on the team? He played decent in the first 3 games of the season.
He put up numbers. He was all right. The team wasn't together yet. That's why they were losing. And he won that Browns game. Like, come on. Like, he done something.
I don't know. I just feel like it was a waste of a roster space if they were going to use him. To the point where you actually had Chris Steveler being the
backup. Playing that game against Jacksonville. That was winnable.
Yes, and then you had him elevated as your backup to Mike White when Chris Steveler is not an NFL quarterback at all. Why is he in the league? But whatever, that's not the whole story.
Over Flacco.
With Flacco, it just doesn't make any sense. So I'm not saying it. I'm not saying they should fire Salah. And they want to fire him. I get it. They want to fire him.
Yeah, I think that's cutting it too soon, though.
Yeah,
but I hear what you're saying.
I'm saying I would understand if they did. I don't think it's a good idea because you invested a lot in him.
And technically,
you
may have ended the season in one of the worst ways, but this actually is an improvement, and this is a better season than you have in years.
No one thought you were going to win 7 games this year.
Yeah.
And he won 7 games.
Hopefully 8. They play Miami. Hopefully 8.
That is a very good possibility.
Yeah, it is. I can't wait to make fun of them in the next episode.
And you know what's crazy? Because they're Jet fans who are telling them, you better not beat Miami next week. Saying you might as well just lose. No. But part of me does want to see that happen. Why? Want to see that happen? Because one because the Miami's out of the playoffs, one, and then you can laugh at them even worse. But especially how roller coaster that season, Miami season was, how
and allowing a man to have 3 concussions under your tenure in 1 year, karma,
tanking, and then before that, even before
tanking, what's the other word? The
collusion,
tampering,
the same man who had 3 concussions on the field for you were actively trying to get rid of him.
Do it, Jets. Do it. Yes, do it.
And you know what? It's like, screw it. Put Joe Flacco in the game and do it.
Do it.
Just do it.
Because there's honestly a possibility that when you break ribs, right, they don't heal in like 2 weeks. So there's probably a high possibility Mike might still hurt.
Do the Jets still have Seattle's pick for the first round pick this year, or was that it?
I don't think so. I think that Seattle has their pick.
All right.
I think they've picked twice in the first round this year.
All right, cool. All right.
I can check real quick while we continue on and talk about the last game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. Tampa Bay officially winning the division. Yeah, go ahead while I look up your thing for you.
And I'm not gonna lie for you. This game, before the fourth quarter happened, I'm not gonna lie to you, I benched Mike Evans in this game because he was so bad. I said, you know what? I'm gonna start McLaurin over Evans, right? Because Evans has been so bad. But Evans wants to have a career game, and Terry McLaurin, to no fault to his own, because Carson Wentz doesn't know how to get the football to him because Carson Wentz is a bum. So I'm not gonna blame Terry McLaurin. Mike Evans, screw you for having a great game, even though being completely garbage the day before. Tom Brady. Of course, Tom Brady. And I said it last week. I said last episode. I said Tom Brady's gonna have a Tom Brady game where he's going to rip the hearts of the Carolina Panthers fans. And guess what?
We both said that. It happened. I just didn't know when, but I knew there was one more.
I knew it was gonna happen on that day, and it did. Because come on. And then Steve Wilkes.
And by the way, the Jets do not have the pick anymore. Seattle has to pick.
But,
They're like 17th right now.
And Steve Wilkes, my friend, we want you to get the job. We want you to get the job. I don't know. I don't know after yesterday. I think you just question some of my job again. But we'll see about that. But damn it! Like, and then the crazy thing is that it makes it even more scary and more crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay is obviously locked into number 4 seed. They're gonna play Dallas, or depending if everything happens correctly. But they could.
He said correctly.
If everything happens correct, yes, because Dallas should be the number 5 seed. Philly should take care of business. But then again, I don't trust them to do that either.
I hear that.
They could actually win a playoff game.
They match up well. They match up to me better than Carolina's against Dallas.
Like, they could actually win a playoff game.
Playing like this, they could. Yeah.
Let's hope that the Cowboys catch Brady and the Buccaneers on that week 1 matchup, because they both were bad. They both were bad that game.
Yeah,
too.
They sucked. They really did.
They both were bad. Mm-hmm. But they'll rather that than anything. But
they definitely match up well because Tampa does run the football anyway. So the secondary of Dallas is actually pretty damn injured right now. So you're gonna have to deal with an entire plethora of receivers that everybody thought were going to be beasts, but maybe that one day they might. Maybe. I don't know. But in Carolina's case, damn. And their run got locked up. That's one of the biggest reasons why this happened. Sam Darnold was trying to make throws. I mean, he did for the most part. He had that one stupid mistake, then he got that strip sack at the end that you gotta indicate, bro. That's like he doesn't read the defense the way he's supposed to. Hence why I always call him what I call him. I won't say it out loud here. But he doesn't do it. That's like he's not a good quarterback. So I'm not surprised, but I'm like, damn. Like they still kind of had the game, even at the end with the mistaken punt. At the end, they had it in their hands and they could not take advantage, and they were winning the majority of this game. But when you continue to play basically cover 1 and let your corners get eaten alive by Mike Evans, that clearly could not stop him on go routes. Never heard of such a thing, but apparently that happened on 3 different occasions. Same route, same spot, same play. Didn't stop him all 3 times. Hence why I question Steve Wilkes in that defense. But
at that point, you deserve to lose.
Yeah. 3 50-plus yard touchdowns. They could not stop that.
What is this, Madden? Like cheesing on one play?
Like, what the fuck was that? Like, come on, son.
Come on.
like, it's insane. It's insane. They had a Chris Godwin fumble early and everything. They had it all done. Like, I could not believe it. Who knew that J.C. Horn was that important? That if he wasn't there, their corners really would not want to play football. Because that was already bad juju when they called that J.C. Horn was out for the game. I'm like, oh. But before the game started, I'm like, that is actually not good. And then apparently that was the right decision, because I can guarantee you if J.C. Horn was there, that would have not happened. We might have a different discussion today. But you're not supposed to rely on one singular player that's not a quarterback that hard, though. And that's a problem. So you got some work to do, Carolina. A lot of it. So this is the final funeral of the episode. Carolina Panthers, they are now officially dead. Rest in peace.
To the season.
Yes.
That being said, we're done here. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe like you always do. As far as the pick'ems contest, I'm going to have it on hold for the time being until we figure out what's going on with the NFL. So that's what we're gonna. And
same thing for the following episode too.
Yes,
we have to wait. Obviously,
yes. So
praying that we get some good news for this.
Yes, it would be incredibly insensitive to even talk about a stupid contest when the man's life is literally fighting for his life. So we pray for him again to Hamlin and the Buffalo Bills organization, and to everybody watching. We hope you guys stay strong. See you guys soon. Another episode.